What is up everyone, my name is Jasper and welcome to this new video. So this is the second part in my series where I'm starting a brand new website all from scratch. Now in the previous episode we've been laying the foundation, so we've been setting up our hosting, we've bought a domain name, I made sure there's a logo for the site. Basically everything that needs to be done was done, so even the WordPress settings were all set correctly. So if you're interested in how I set up a website, definitely go check out that video. And in one of my previous videos, I was also talking about how I'm using Keyword Chef to find keywords or to find topics to write about. Now I've been exclusively using Keyword Chef to find topics to write about for this website, so I would highly recommend watching that video. I think it's one of the most helpful ones I've made on this channel so far. And it's just the way I've been making sure that I got articles to write. But that leaves us at the next step, and that's basically producing content. Now for me personally, I am in a sort of mix when it comes to producing content. So I've been both outsourcing and writing myself. Now there was a time where I was primarily outsourcing because editing the articles that came in took a lot of time, and it basically took away the time I would take to write. But now with my budget cuts and that I'm no longer earning what I used to earn and I can no longer outsource what I used to be able to outsource, there's a lot more time for me to write myself. So currently I'm writing myself a lot, but I'm also outsourcing, and I kind of want to walk you through the process of how I'm outsourcing. So as I mentioned, we've got a hit list ready, and this hit list is currently consisting of just shy of 150 articles. So this hit list is basically a list of articles or titles for new blog posts that I can just cross off once they're written. These are basically all the articles I am going to write for this website. At least as of now, because I can always go back and update the hit list to make it even larger. But from here, I usually just pick a few for myself that I'm going to write whenever I'm done writing the previous one. But I'm also taking a lot of them and I'm going to outsource these to other writers. Now with other writers, I mean both individual freelancers as well as writing services. So currently I still have a few writers left over from my old team that was producing a lot of content back then. But I still have the best few left over, and those writers are working on this website exclusively as of now. So I've handed them a bunch of articles to write about, and because I trained these people, they know what they're doing and how I want the articles to be. So for those, there really isn't that much more work involved other than just sending them over more articles once they're done. But aside from my in-house writers, I always want to make sure that I have a very thorough content brief. And the content brief I'll be covering a little bit later in this video, but the brief basically needs to contain everything and anything that you want in your article. But quickly, let's just go over a few places where you can order content. Now I know a lot of writing services and some are better than others, some are more expensive than others, and there's just so much variety out there. For me personally, I sometimes use Passion Posts, which are very nice, they write very good articles. But they are on the more expensive side. I believe they charge you like 6 cents a word. So that's a little bit more expensive than I would like to see. But they're not as expensive as some others, such as Text Goods or Content Warrior. And Content Warrior is the writing service from Income School. And although they deliver great quality content, I believe they charge you 7 cents per word. And that is just a lot. I also kind of find it weird how Income School always advocates that you find writers for 2 cents a word, but then they charge almost 7.5 cents themselves. Still, I think if you do have the budget, they do provide quality articles, and I probably will be making a more in-depth review for Income School's writing service later on. But these are some really expensive but great quality options. Now there are two more that I use, and these have sort of variable plans. So depending on the word count that you're ordering, you get a different rate. So it basically means that the more you order, the more of a discounted price you're going to see. Now these are Rewrite Blog Posts and Text Paradise. And both of these are pretty great. They are both owned by someone that's in Project 24. And the great thing about it is that you don't need an incredibly extensive and in-depth content outline because they know how to write. At least for what I want to see in an article. They know how to do that and they do it very well. A little over a week ago, the company of Rewrite Blog Posts, they sent me over a free article and I was really impressed with them. So these are all great options, just be wary that some might charge you a lot more than you're willing to spend. Now lastly, I want to go over a few more options. We got Fiverr, Upwork and ProBlogger. These are basically places where you can find freelancers that will write for you. But the thing with these freelancers is that you really do need to train them up. So it's going to take you a lot more time before they are actually producing content that you're really happy with. They aren't going to be the same sort of, you receive your article, you can just copy paste it into your WordPress and just publish it as you have with these writing services. But once you train them, you can get some really good writers. I built my team up with a ProBlogger ad and I've had 6 writers that were just really nice. But that kind of brings us back to the importance of having a content brief, because when you need to train writers, you really need to just kind of walk them through. You really need to hold their hand and just explain it to them as if they know nothing about writing. Everyone has their own sort of style of writing and it's never really exactly what you're looking for. So you really need to nudge them in your direction. So this basically means that you need to write down whatever it is to you that makes an article good. So what I always start my content brief with is a title and then the word count. I think these are 2 very important parts. And it kind of gives the writer the direction you're going in. I then follow that up with the searcher intent. And the searcher intent is basically what the reader or the person that is searching that question on Google, what he wants to know. So this is always open for interpretation, and I always like to just give it my own spin so that everything is sort of in line with what I want to see. Of course, I always leave some freedom for my writers to figure out what the searcher intent is, but I always give them my vision of it as well. I then follow that up with the possible subheadings, and the subheadings I usually just take from the people also ask section on Google. So what I do is I Google my main question and then just see what pops up. And usually in your people also ask section, you can see what people are also asking. So those are usually just great follow-up questions for subheadings. And when you scroll down a little more, you've got your related questions section, and here you can find a few good sort of subheadings as well. Now, of course, you can always come up with your own subheadings as well. I think those are sometimes very important to have there as well, because just to have some sort of human element to it. But always make sure that these subheadings are in line with the article and that people are actually going to look these up and that they are actually relevant to the rest of the article. Aside from that, I always send them my main spreadsheet with the format, the style, the way I want the articles to be written, where I want my snippet optimization to find place, how I want my questions answered, just all of that. Everything that I want to see in an article, I put in this sort of spreadsheet, and I send this one over to everyone that's writing for me. So in short, that is how I outsource my content. Now for this website, the plan is of course to publish 65 articles all at once. Now 65 articles is a lot, and I never actually publish more than 65 articles in a single month, and the goal is to have these 65 done in September. Now I'm really running behind schedule because I've been really busy. I've been planning a trip to Italy for a month, so expect some videos with a different background in the near future. But I got a lot of travel time ahead, so I will be filling that travel time with working and just writing articles or editing videos. So I might just up the budget a little more and just go with it, just accept that I might need to invest a little bit more to reach this goal, but that's okay with me. I think that this project is really going to pay itself off in the future. So right now I mainly have my in-house writers going at it, but I will be ordering from the more affordable writing services, so Passion Post and Rewrite Blog Post. I think those are more in line with what I'm looking for. They don't charge you like 7 cents a word. I pay my own writers 2 cents a word, so it's almost for every article that they provide, I can get a very similar quality article, but only 4 more. So it's just really, it doesn't really make sense to order from these extremely expensive ones, but as I mentioned, I might need to invest a little bit more, and my writers can only write so much per week. So it kind of makes sense to invest a little bit more, and I just have to bite the bullet that it's going to be with more expensive services. But that kind of wraps up this video. I've been talking a lot about how I'm outsourcing and my sort of process. If you want an even more in-depth video on how I hire my writers and how I make my content briefs, and I might even show the complete content brief, just let me know in the comments down below and I'll be glad to make that video. But for now, that's it, and I really hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.